I've asked Caroline to do some reading from The Catcher in the Rye. Wonderful, famous book. Our protagonist is Holden Caulfield, and Holden is about 16, and he's just making that transition from childhood to adulthood. So in other words, he is working on his personality and he has all these experiences. And we're near the end of the book, and we're finding that what he really values in life is the innocence that he finds in his 10-year-old sister, Phoebe. So this section is Holden with his sister, Phoebe, in Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye.
I'm not sure old Phoebe knew what the hell I was talking about. I mean, she's only a little child and all, but she was listening, at least. If somebody at least listens, it's not too bad. You know that song, If a Body Catch a Body Coming Through the Rye? It's If a Body Meet a Body Coming Through the Rye, old Phoebe said. It's a poem by Robert Burns. I know it's a poem by Robert Burns. She was right, though. It is If a Body Meet a Body Coming Through the Rye. I didn't know it then, though. I thought it was If a Body Catch a Body, I said. Anyway, I keep picturing all these little kids playing some game in this big field of rye and all. Thousands of little kids, and nobody's around, nobody big, I mean, except for me. And I'm standing on the edge of some crazy cliff. What I have to do is I have to catch everybody as they start to go off the cliff. I mean, if they're running and they don't look where they're going, I have to come out from somewhere and catch them. That's all I'd do all day. I'd just be the catcher in the rye and all. I know it's crazy, but that's the only thing I'd really like to be. I know it's crazy. Old Phoebe still wouldn't talk to me or anything, but she was sort of walking next to me now. I took a hold of her belt at the back of her coat, just for the hell of it, but she wouldn't let me. She said, "Keep your hands to yourself if you don't mind." She was still so sore at me, but not as sore as she was before. Anyway, we kept on getting closer and closer to the carousel, and you could start to hear that nutty music it always plays. It was playing "Oh Marie." Played that same song about 50 years ago when I was a little kid. That's one nice thing about carousels. They always play the same songs. "I thought the carousel was closed in the wintertime," old Phoebe said. It was the first time she practically said anything. She probably forgot she was supposed to be sore at me. "Maybe it's 'cause it's around Christmas," I said. She didn't say anything when I said that. She probably remembered she was supposed to be sore at me. "Do you want to go for a ride on it?" I said. I knew she probably did. When she was a tiny little kid and Allie and DB and I used to go to the park with her, she was mad about the carousel. Couldn't get her off the goddamn thing. "I'm too big," she said. I thought she wasn't going to answer me, but she did. "Here," I said, "wait a second, take the rest of the dough too." I started giving her the rest of the dough she'd lent me. "You keep it. Keep it for me," she said. Then she said right afterward, "Please." That's depressing. When somebody says please to you, I mean, if it's Phoebe or somebody, that depressed the hell out of me. But I put the dough back in the pocket. "Aren't you going to ride too?" she asked me. She was looking at me sort of funny. You could tell she wasn't too sore at me anymore. "Maybe I will the next time. I'll watch you," I said. "Got your ticket?" "Yes." "Go ahead then. I'll be right on this bench over here. I'll watch you." I went over and sat down on this bench, and she went and got on the carousel. She walked all around it. I mean, she walked once all the way around it. Then she sat down on this big, brown, beat-up-looking old horse. Then the carousel started, and I watched her go around and around. There were only about 5 or 6 other kids on the ride, and the song the carousel was playing was "Smoke Gets in Your Eyes." It was playing it really jazzy and funny. All the kids kept trying to grab for the gold ring, and so was old Phoebe, and I was sort of afraid she'd fall off the goddamn horse, but I didn't say anything or do anything. The thing with kids is if they want to grab for the gold ring, you have to let them do it and not say anything. If they fall off, they fall off. But it's bad if you say anything to them. When the ride was over, she got off her horse and came over to me. "You ride too this time," she said. "No, I'll just watch you. I think I'll just watch," I said. I gave her some more of the dough. "Here, get some more tickets." She took the dough off me. I'm not mad at you anymore, she said. I know, hurry up, the thing's gonna start again. Then all of a sudden she gave me a kiss. Then she held out her hand and said, it's raining, it's starting to rain. I know. Then what she did, it damn near killed me. She reached in my coat pocket and took out my red hunting hat and put it on my head. Don't you want it? I said. You can wear it a while. Okay, hurry up though, or you're gonna miss your ride. You won't get your own horse or anything. She kept on hanging around though. Did you mean what you said? You really aren't going away anymore. Are you really going home afterwards? She asked me. Yeah, I said, and I meant it too. I wasn't lying to her. I really did go home afterwards. Hurry up now, I said, the thing's starting. She ran and bought her ticket and got back on the goddamn carousel just in time. Then she walked all the way around it till she got back to her own horse. Then she got on it. She waved to me and I waved back. Boy, it began to rain like a bastard, in buckets, I swear to God. All the parents and mothers and everyone went right over and stood right under the roof of the carousel so they wouldn't get soaked to the skin or anything. But I stuck around on the bench for a while. I got pretty soaking wet, especially my neck and my pants. My hunting hat really gave me quite a lot of protection in a way, but I got soaked anyway. I didn't care though. I felt so damn happy all of a sudden. The way old Phoebe kept going around and around, I was damn near bawling. I felt so damn happy, if you want to know the truth. I don't know why. It was just that she looked so damn nice, the way she kept going around and around in her blue coat and all. God, I wish you could have been there.
Thank you. Love the way you read. I just love the way you read. We're at the second last chapter.
Yeah.
And Holden finds that he values innocence.
Yeah.
And the innocence in his sister Phoebe.
Yeah.
And that actually sets him up for a pretty optimistic ending to this novel, because he's gone through some horrible experiences.
Yeah.
And at this time of his life, he's 16, it's finding what he values that moves him forward to something optimistic. That's my reading of the end anyway. I know that there are other readings of this very complex novel.
Okay, so how does that tie to personality and the hope then?
Well, the hope is how we can actually change to succeed. But it's not our personality that we have to change, because anybody who tries that will find how difficult it is and how frustrating. But what we in psychiatry and psychology know is that at any time you can change your values. And when you find what you value and live being committed to your values, regardless of your personality, then you will find you'll be able to succeed more. Okay, I'm not going to say that it's easy. It's not just a little decision. So finding your values, knowing your values, just as Holden found out at the moment, innocence.
Yeah.
And he takes that into the last chapter.
He does,
all right. So when I work with somebody, I work with them to find out what their values are. What do you really want in life?
Yes.
Okay. What motivates you? Okay. What do you admire in yourself or other people?
Can you say those things again, just slowly, so that we can... Okay. Sorry, I broke in there. There were 4.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Slowly, so they can write them down.
Caroline knows these are my 4 questions to ask yourself.
Write them down.
To find out what your values are.
Yeah, go ahead. Say them slowly. Yeah.
Mars, M-A-R-S.
Okay.
Number 1 is what motivates you.
Yes.
Number 2 is what do you admire in yourself and others. Number 3 is what do you believe is the right thing to do. And number 4 is when are you filled with satisfaction and self-respect.
Okay.
Right? So motivation, what you admire, what you believe the right thing to do is, and when you're filled with satisfaction and self-respect, will point you towards your values.
Yes.
All right? Honesty, loyalty, fun, pleasure, all of these are values, all right? And there are some that we agree on, but some that we don't. And the nice thing about values is you make it for yourself. Yeah. And then you sort of go, right, and you've got to have a list of about 10 or 12. How can I use this to work on my goals, the decisions that I make, and how I behave to guide me.
Yeah.
And then you'll actually find it's a lot easier. It still takes effort, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is still a lot of work, but it's much, much easier than the damn near impossible task of changing your personality. Because if you're an extrovert or an introvert, if you're an honest, loyal introvert or extrovert, people will want you on their side.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? So it's the values that drive how we get together a whole lot more.
It's actually a little bit deeper, isn't it? It's like it's really being true to yourself then.
Yes, you're being true to the driver.
Yes,
all right?
yeah.
So if you're in your car, the question is, where do I want to drive?
Yeah.
And how do I want to drive?
Yeah.
Because that will determine how you get treated when you're on the highway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? If you're
That's
a rat
great
driver,
analogy. Yeah.
I'm sorry, people are going to be beeping at you and all sorts of stuff. Okay? But if you're a more courteous driver, you'll find yourself getting on with other drivers really well. And the important thing is, I believe, to be able to go as far as it's up to you where you want to go.
Great.